Auzubillahiminashaitanirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to the online sessions of Tare Arkam Schools, Gujarat region. Hope you all are fine and very well in your health and iman. So first of all, join your hands for dua. Rabbi zidni ilma, my Lord, increase me in knowledge. So class, this is your history lecture and this is your lecture number 6 of chapter number 10, the early Muslim. What we are going to do is we are going to solve the exercise questions of this chapter number 10, the early Muslims. So the first question is, what was significant about Umayyad period? What was significant about Umayyad period? The Umayyad period is known mainly for the conquest by the Arab armies and its navy. This was the period of dramatic and rapid Muslim expansion in the North Africa, Spain, a brief excursion into France, to the west, to what is now known as the Middle East, into Russia until stopped by the relatively barren steppes, and eastward into the borders of China, where the lines of communications were too far stretched and no further advance was made. Under the Umayyad, the Arab empire expanded in all directions. So the question is, was what was significant about the Umayyad period? The Umayyad period is known mainly for the conquest of Arab armies and its navy, the expansion of Umayyad dynasty into the different areas of the world, and the spread of Islam across the Arab. The Umayyad period is known mainly for the conquest of Arab armies and its navy. This was the period of dramatic and rapid Muslim expansions to the North Africa, Spain, a brief excursion into France, to what is now known as the Middle East, into Russia, until stopped by the relatively barren steppes, and eastward into the borders of China, where the lines of the communication were far too far stretched and no further advance was made under the Umayyads. The Arab Empire expanded in all directions. So the second question is, why is the Abbasids rule as the age of wealth and culture? The Abbasid ruled at a time of great political stability and security. Their rule is known for its emphasis on knowledge, research, scientific and cultural growth, and its economic power. The Abbasid rules of its time were the greater political stability and security. Their rule is known for for its emphasis on knowledge, research, scientific and cultural growth, and its economic power. This was a period of great culture and learning, especially in mathematics, science, and medicine. Ancient manuscripts from Greece and Rome were collected and translated. In this way, they were saved for prosperity. It is rightly known as the age of wealth and culture. It is rightly known as the wealth and culture. In the Abbasid period, there is a great expansion and a great work on the knowledge, research, and scientific cultural growth and its economic power. So that's why the period of Abbasids is known as the age of wealth and culture. So the third question is, how did the European benefit from crusades? As we all know that the Europeans at that time, they learned so much from each other's civilizations. So in this answer we have to write down the answer of this question, like the European learned a great deal from the Arabs of those times, as the latter had developed a more advanced civilization. details are given in the textbook on your page 48 to 50 as well. In addition, there were great advance in learning sciences. The new products, especially steel, silk, cotton, and carpets, led to the dramatic rise in trade between East and West and ultimately to waves of discovery. So you have to skip this line. The details are given in the textbook pages 48 to 50. This was just for to remind you that the details on the effects of on the benefits that European gets from the Crusades, that is mentioned on your textbook page number 48 and 50. You have to skip this line in this answer as well. So the next is find out more about those places in Spain which have Muslim Arab history. Look up words that have Arab origins, for example, alchemy, algebra. Can you think of more? So, places in Spain that have an Islamic history are Gandara, Cordoba, and Toledo. To name a few, the influence is seen in the architecture, culture, literature, and language, and music as well as a cuisines. The entire Liberian Peninsula was known as Al Andalus, and a province in southern Spain is still called Andalusia. Andalusia. So there were some places in the that were related to the Islamic history were Gandara, Cordoba, and Toledo. These are the few names of the Spain places, and they had the influence on the literature, culture, and architecture, languages, music, and cuisines as well. So the final and the last question is find out more about the Mongols who were their last descendants in the subcontinent. The Mongols were a mainly Mongolian race from the north of China due to the harsh surrounding they lived in. They were furious and competitive. They were nomadic tribes and were native worshippers. Genghis Khan united them into one tribe and later they converted to Islam. Their later famous descendants were the Mughal rulers of the subcontinent who established the Mughal Empire. We all know that at that time the Mongols were used to worship the nature like moon, sun, river, water, fire, like these kind of stuff they were used to worship. But late and they also tolerate the other faiths as well. They were calm and patient patent persons. So later they converted into Islam in the 13th and the 14th century, first under Genghis Khan first, and the second one is under Ghazan, and then under Tehmur. The last famous descendants were the Mughal rulers in the subcontinent who established the Mughal Empire in the subcontinent. So, this is all for today. You have to write down all these five questions on your notebook very carefully. So, you all know that it's the third wave of COVID 19. For this, you have to stay at your home, take care of your hygiene, wash your hands, take bath every day, take care of your loved ones, take care of yourself as well. Stay at your home, stay blessed, stay healthy, and thank you so much for having this lecture. In the case of any query, you can ask. So, stay blessed, stay healthy. Fi Aman Allah.